Welcome to BitMart's live AMA with session with PLATO. I'm Jason from BitMart, and today we have Daniel, the CMO of PLATO Farm. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for having me today.
Daniel has worked extensively in finance, fintech, and currently works at a major crypto exchange. Daniel helped PLATO Farm build a huge community, 100K on Telegram, 50K on Twitter. He also raised over $2 million for the project at a 200 mil valuation and landed key investors, launch pads, and exchanges like us, BitMart. The game, there's like this is on just playing from their website. Kind of reminds me of Farmville. I remember playing it when I just made Facebook back then. This was like 2008, but this is way more advanced. I remember screwing around with like cheat engine and then making Farmville believe my inputs are legitimate, but that's why these are being built on blockchain. So like I don't get to screw around with these data. Kids nowadays, adults are like have just more choices now, but this is the farming game to pay attention to. The rules for the AMA haven't changed. Ask questions, and if your question is selected, went up to $40 with the PLATO each. We have 4 ways to participate: 2 on YouTube, 2 on Twitter. Please read the video description for details. First question, well, actually, if you could just start with like a brief intro of or overview of the PLATO project.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I think you described it pretty well. It's pretty much like a Farmville type of game. And I mean, the reason we like that is it's a proven model. You know, people have over and over again played these types of games. So the way it works is you join the game, you get a very basic farm that's very underdeveloped, and then you start planting your seeds on the farm, you start growing crops. Once you grow the crops, you go and feed the chickens. You feed the chickens, you can sell the chickens. And the whole game works like that until essentially you build up a thriving, a very productive farm, and hopefully develop your farm into a bustling city. That's the end goal of the game. And create a big economy. Now, every little aspect or piece of ownership in the game is an NFT. So whether that's the crops you grow, whether that's the chicken you're selling, whether it's the farmland itself, is an NFT. It's all tradable with other players within the game as well as with the gaming system. Yeah, and obviously the more advanced you get, the more valuable your farm gets, the more you can trade your farm for.
Yeah. On the screenshot here, you can also see the different tradables, the different crops, different tools. I mean, it's very small, but go check out the website. You'll see all the different tradable NFTs that you can actually grow on your land. And I guess how would you differentiate PLATO Farm from competitors? Are there competitors, and how are you guys different?
So we do have 1 or 2 competitors in the landscape. One's called Farmers World. However, how we differentiate ourselves, I think, well, our main differentiators are we have an in-game wallet, so there's no need to connect to a third-party wallet. I think that's one of the key differentiators. Secondly, we have in-game swap systems, in-game, everything happens with the swapping protocol within the game, essentially. Thirdly, our DAO governance structure is quite unique in that not only do our players purchase DAO tokens to determine the future of the game, but we also actually award players with DAO governance based on duration. So players that don't necessarily have DAO tokens, if they've been a long-standing customer of or player of the game, get a vote in the future of the game. I think those are the main differentiators with our technology. I'd say in terms of just gameplay, it's very, very simple to get signed up. And once you're playing, you're playing. Like I've got a younger brother. I gave him the game for a few minutes, and he just, like, within a few minutes, and he's only 10 years old. He was playing this game as if he'd been playing it for months, and he was hooked on it. Yeah, right. So very good UI.
Yeah, and within minutes, he's making money.
Exactly. At the age of 10.
Yeah,
I wish we were.
And I was just reading up on the game, and I noticed you guys have actually 2 different currencies. So there's PLATO, and then there's Mark. Could you share more info about the supply, distribution, the tokenomics behind those 2 different tokens?
Yeah, of course. So essentially, Mark is the basic currency within the game. Mark is what players earn from transacting with other players. It's when you, as mentioned, when you sell a piece of land or sell a piece of your farm, you're transacting in Mark tokens. So essentially, we look at it as the general medium of exchange in the game. The Mark token is essentially recycled and burned within the system. So there'll be a transaction tax on every NFT sold, and we take a percentage of that to create like deflation within the token economy. Now also the way that Mark token fluctuates within the game is based on the GDP in the game. So based on how much players are buying and selling, that determines the amount of new Mark issued within a certain day. That is limited at 1 billion Mark per day, but it fluctuates. So just also to note, Mark token is not the token that we're listing with Tokensoft tomorrow. We're listing the other token called PLATO token. So now what PLATO token is essentially like your reputation within the game. The more PLATO tokens you earn, the more you start leveling up. So for example, once you complete certain tasks within the game, maybe you have done transactions with 50 different players, then you start earning PLATO tokens and you actually start building a reputation within the game and esteem within the game. PLATO tokens also enable you to start purchasing more productive NFTs, more rare NFTs. And with those, you can actually start enhancing your farm at a quicker rate. So it's actually PLATO token, which is the valuable one. And as mentioned, that's what we'll be listing on Tokensoft tomorrow through our IDO.
Awesome. And on the security side of things, have you guys had your code base audited?
Yeah, of course. So security is very important for us, as it should be. And yeah, we were audited by Fairy Proof, and that's the official reports on our website. So I'm happy to send that over to you to share.
Oh, for sure. Well, we'll include more information in the video description. If you ever want to expand on it, love to do more promos on other ends as well. I guess the next question would be, how long has this project been live? Like, when did you guys launch it?
Yeah, sure. So the project was started by the team in 2020. There was the first version of the game was actually launched on iOS and on Android in about September 2021. So that was a few months ago. And I mean, even on that was the beta version of the game, and we had there was a point where there were like 60,000 daily active users. And that was during what we had. It was a pre-play to earn campaign. So we actually tested what it would be like if we had play to earn, and we just saw our daily active users shoot through the roof. Since that campaign has ended, we've launched the gamma version of the game. So it's sort of the next step. That launched in December. We have about 20,000 daily active users at the moment. So we get great feedback. I mean, if you just look at our community channels, there's people always wanting to push on to the next level. Yeah, and we think we hope to launch the final version within the next few months. Yeah, and I guess that's where we're at.
Right. Quick answer to someone just asking, is it live in the comment box? Yes, it is live. Daniel just mentioned the final version will be somewhere down the road, but if you go to the website right now, download links are already there. It's been out, it's playable. You can start earning tokens now. The follow-up question would be like, what's the motivation behind building this project? Did you just look at FarmVille and be like, I can build a better version, or there's a better economy that I can build out of this? What's the story? Yeah.
So I mean, I met with the team, and I love the team. I know that the CEO of the project is like super passionate, and I just like the way he conducts the environment we work in. He's always pushing, and he doesn't take like no for an answer. He always wants to like push on to the next level. He's very determined. And when I sort of sensed that in him, I was like, this is a project I want to work with. Just interacting with the team, how professional they are. I think that was for me the main drawing point. Secondly, once I started playing the game, once I started testing with my friends, we were looking at the UI, the UX, and this was a project I wanted to get involved in.
It's definitely a really addicting gaming model. remember just spending hours on it, even though you have to like wait for the crops to grow. You wanted to make sure your land looks good and it's efficient.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you said, it's like it's a model that works. Don't have to reinvent the wheel, just like improve the car. The next question is, what sort of strategy do you have to bring non-crypto natives into the game? Are you targeting non-crypto native guilds, influencers, or what are we looking at?
Yeah. So that's exactly it. So we're targeting some non-crypto native guilds, and a lot of Twitch users are kind of on our radar, and that's who we're speaking with at the moment. Yeah, it's a big goal of ours. I mean, I think pretty much any non-crypto native gamers are all starting to look at crypto at the moment, or at least a large portion of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we want to help with that transition by targeting the right influencers to kind of bring them over.
For sure. It's definitely one way to make these in-game assets more liquid and make sure that when they're playing these games, the time being invested are netting them like actual monetary value.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if anyone's faced with the choice of play a game for money or play a game not for money, you may as well play for money.
not play a game for fun, but you got fun plus money. Yeah, fun
plus money. Fun plus money.
Yeah. And I guess just your general marketing plans, other than the KOL stuff, bringing non-natives, non-crypto natives to your game. What are your plans to just sort of increase general market awareness and market Plato?
Yeah, sure. So as mentioned, we've got a lot of very influential KOLs who are not only playing the game, but are actively pushing it to the users. So I think that's on the marketing side more than anything. We've got all sorts of referral codes and referral options to bring more users onto the game. And then I think our strategic investors help a lot. We've got some really good name brands behind us who are always making introductions to us to gaming guilds, to new platforms, new partnerships. And then lastly, I think it's just developing a really good gameplay experience. I think those are kind of the three tiers. So it's like marketing, strategy, and then gameplay.
I like a comment that we're seeing from Top Decimal. It says, in the near future, there won't be a non-crypto community.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take a question from him after this next question. Just with the Plato launch, well underway tomorrow, what other sort of milestones can we look forward to?
Yeah, so as mentioned, as you just mentioned, so we've got the IDO tomorrow. That's going to last 2 weeks. So that starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Moscow time. So that starts tomorrow, and that runs for 2 weeks till the 28th of January. And thereafter, we're looking at obviously listing. We're listing on a few different exchanges, and then just developing the final version. We went. I think V3 is scheduled to come out. I think that's V2 in February or so, or March, and then the final version about 6 months later. So hopefully, we just want more gameplay. We want more interaction with users on the game. Yeah, and just I think just developing the more social environment. Obviously, metaverse is a very common term these days, but we want people to be fully immersed in this. We want people to make alliances. We want people to join together. We want guilds formed within the game, and we want to see where the game develops. We want the users to obviously start building big bustling farms in big bustling cities. We don't know what the future the future of this game will hold, because it's obviously user governed. And that's kind of the next few steps for us.
Yeah, and that's the spirit of these blockchain games, giving power back to the users, the gamers. Our first question from our viewer: what was the reason behind from Vishal? What was the reason behind using two networks like ERC and Hecko?
Yeah, sure. So Hecko is where our the tokens are traded on, and whereas ERC is where the NFTs are traded on. So the reason for that is just, I guess, usability on two chains. We wanted hedge our bets. We wanted two different chains operating and not sort of only target the Hecko blockchain or only target the Ethereum blockchain. We wanted to tap into two different user bases essentially.
Mhm. Of course, it's definitely a good strategy. Second question from Top Decimal. Do we basically just how do we get started? Do we need to buy an NFT to earn in this game, or is it free to start?
Sure. So simple, it's a simple login procedure. You log in, create a profile, and your wallet sits within the game. Once you're in the game, you're allocated a farm and you start playing immediately. Right now, I think the farms are free within the game, but later down the line, once we start developing V2 and V3, it will be a small nominal buy-in for your first initial set of tokens. Right now, I would be double checked on this, but you get a certain amount of tokens free of charge once you sign up.
That's great. So if you've heard Daniel, if you want to get in for free, get in now. Next question from Crypto Wolf. Okay, I might have to rephrase it. It just says, what are your best NFTs at the moment? So maybe like just like names of the best crop or tool or farmland. What can we look forward
Yeah,
to?
sure. So I'd say one of the most like one of the most premium ones you can get in the game. Once you reach, I think it's like level 20 within the game, you start unlocking like platinum mines. So I think the platinum and the gold mines within the game are once you start getting into the mines, I think you're doing well.
That's something Farmville didn't have. The next question is basically from Navdeep, like how your game is different from these other games in this category. I think we covered this a little bit, but just so you can highlight it again. And are you guys doing any sort of this sort of charity with the profits you're gaining?
Sure. So yeah, as mentioned, it's our in-game wallet. You don't have to connect a third-party wallet. It's the swap system which happens within the game, and it's the DAO governance system whereby players are given a vote in the DAO just based on longevity or duration that they've played the game, as opposed to the tokens they hold. And then, as mentioned, also just the great UX UI that we've developed. In terms of charity, there's currently not. We have spoken about it and thought about it, but currently that's not it's not incorporated in the game yet. We'll see about that in the future.
Profits are just being reinvested into the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you get more. I don't know what's after the platinum mines, maybe diamond mines. I don't know. I'm just picking out of whatever.
Yeah.
Our last question from audience from Raj. Does your project support a staking program? And if yes, how does that work?
Yeah, sure. So it does actually support a staking program. Currently, in the current version, it's not available, but it obviously will be available in V2 and V3, and that works with staking the MARK token. So once you stake the MARK token, you can start earning PLATO token, which is, as mentioned, the more valuable token. And then also you could obviously stake PLATO token and earn more PLATO tokens. It's a pretty simple staking system. We're still working on our APY rates, but that will be released in a later version of the game.
That's awesome. Okay, we've kept it sweet and short, straight to the point.
I can speak more if you want.
That's all the questions we got for today. Yeah, for more information, read up on Plato Farm at platofarm.game. The link will be in the description below. Plato isn't yet available yet on BitMart, but it will be soon. So look out for our updates. And lastly, you can still participate after the stream is over. That's it. Thanks, Daniel, for being here, and thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you, everyone, and check us out on Twitter and Telegram, and you can follow me on Twitter or Plato Farm on Twitter. Happy to send all those links over to Jason if you want any more.
Yeah, we'll add that again in the video description.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks for having me here.